Hello again, ladies and gentlemen. This is Michael Pitzner, also known as the Automated Millionaire. Now I said hello again because I hope that some of you might be coming back here as a returning client or listener or viewer. If you're brand new to it, I give you my warm welcome. Again, I am Michael Pitzner, also known as the Automated Millionaire, and I help small and medium-sized businesses produce much better results, make much more money with their business by implementing a unique business system that I call the Automated Millionaire Business System. Today, we're continuing our series on the secrets behind this system. What is it? What is the one and the simple secrets that actually make up that this works so well? Today, we're going to look at two more of those secrets. Now, last time we spoke about what are the actions. We found an undesirable outcome. We have quantified it. We found out, okay, it's costing us a lot of money. So it really gets our determination to tackle that problem, tackle that challenge, and say we want to fix that problem because it's costing us $50,000, $100,000 a year. It's necessary. It's urgent. We then talked about, and last time we talked about, okay, well, we know we need to do X. So let's say that we need to, in our sales department, we need to do 200 calls for each salesperson instead of 150 calls. And that will give us, so and so many converted, and so much extra sales, and so much extra profits, and so on and so forth. In this episode, we talk about, okay, well, now that we are doing all of this and we already quantified the problems, we quantified the metrics, we call them metrics, what are the action steps, what are the how much, by whom, by when, those are the metrics. And we now say, okay, fine, let's assume we are doing all of this, how much dollars and cents will this affect our cash flow? So sometimes in the cash flow, there might be, let's say we need to hire another person, and then this person will have a learning curve. And so we might hire the person. It's a person who's costing $22 an hour, 40 hours a week, and so on. So now we have a weekly number for how much is going to be drained, so to speak, out of our cash flow. We need to add in any other costs associated and so on. But we also know that once this person is getting productive, that person will begin to add in some extra revenues, right? That is the idea is that we are hiring somebody for producing something, right? This person is going to produce something that we are then going to sell. This extra sales is going to come in on our top line. So that goes into the revenue stream, the sales stream of our cash flow. On the expense side, we have under the payroll, we have the payroll for this person. Sometimes the payroll is sooner than we begin to see money coming in. That's called the initial investment, so to speak, until the person is up in gear. The effect of the pluses and minuses, so of the cash coming into the company and the cash going out, needs to be mapped out into our cash flow management system. So we've spoken about that I actually have a tool that really, really clearly can tell you exactly what's your cash flow going to look like week by week by week for the next 3 months. For the next 13 weeks, what does that cash flow look like? And it's specific to your company because you will put in all this data. In actual fact, my suggestion is typically that it's the bookkeeper who actually inputs all the data. So the bookkeeper will update the data all the time, putting in the information. Now this update, just to be sure, is typically only going to cost about 5-10 minutes every Monday morning. I suggest it's done Monday morning so that when you start the week, you can have the cash flow. You know exactly where you are. You know exactly what to expect for the week. You know exactly where you have some challenges coming up, how soon and by how much, so that you today, let's say you look at it today and see, in 7 weeks, I'm going to have a real serious issue unless I start fixing it. Then you could fix it now instead of coming to the 7th week and now this big premium you have to pay or this big, repayment of a debt or something comes in and then you don't have the money for it. So we need to make sure that whenever we are improving the business and we have established what we're doing and how much it's doing, we need to establish, well, how does this affect our cash flow? When we do, we are on top, we are in the driver's seat all the time. So that's what I mean by, okay, we need to make sure that whatever we are doing, we're implementing this new thing, whether it's a good or bad thing and so on, we need to make sure that we map it out into a cash flow management system, how is this ending up? This is also the way that when I've helped people in the trenches on site with companies, that we can track, okay, we're making improvements in business. We have identified over the course of a full year, it may have been a $50,000 improvement, more sales or more productivity or less expenditure, so on. Now I want to make sure on a week-to-week basis that I'm actually capturing all of this benefit of 50,000. And so if I map it out correctly, I'll see that, well, this is, it's involving, there's more sales because we are producing more, okay? Well, then I want to see that my revenue line is actually increasing, and my cash flow will tell me how much, so I can see when I look at my P&L, I can see I'm actually getting it. Okay, so I'm good there. How much is it costing me? I don't want to be like all of a sudden it's costing me far more than I thought it would be. If it is, it's because I either did something wrong with my calculation, or it's because I'm not really following what we decided upon doing. We did something wrong in the execution of it. And it's better to catch that sooner rather than later. So maybe we need to make an adjustment so that we'll capture the problem solving of, let's say, in this case, we are looking at $50,000. The way all of this works is really fantastic, and it can be a little bit challenging for me to explain it fluidly here on just a podcast, whether a video podcast or in audio podcast. I do have a free training available on my website. Just go to the automatedmillionaire.com and you'll see there's a tab in the navigation that says free training. Currently, it may change in future, but currently it actually gives you a very good video. So I would definitely suggest that you watch it maybe on a laptop or something. And it'll show you step by step this whole system mapped out. I believe it's truly worth it for you. Like I said, in 100% of the businesses that I went and consulted, I implemented this system. And the success rate is pretty much 100%. It's typically reported by the company that I associated with back then as a 98% success rate. And I would venture to say it's only not successful when business owners eventually say, well, I'm just going to do what I always did. So they invested the money with the business consultant. They implemented, got this whole system set in motion. And as soon as the consultant is out the door, they start to say, oh, I'm going to do what I did before. So we all know the definition of insanity, right? It's the one of, if you always do what you always done, you're always going to get what you always gotten, right? So if you always do what you always done, you're going to get the same result. This system here ensures that you actually go and make the changes, you actually implement it, you actually follow up with it, you actually get a method and a system by which your employees and your leaders in the company actually perform everything that you need to do. And you get, by the system, a method where it's very easy for you to supervise it even from afar, that everything is actually carried out to the full degree that you discussed and agreed upon. You might even see that, oh, you're doing better. And if you're somehow not meeting it, we have ways of looking at it and implementing it with people in such a way that they actually live up to their words, that they commit to you how they're going to make it happen. So I highly implore you to look into making sure that your system in your business is such as this one. Again, for those interested, I do have a course and I do have a program that also includes coaching that helps you implement this kind of thing. If you're interested, please go to my website, theautomatedmillionaire.com, and look for the Automated Millionaire Business System. That is the signature program that actually encapsulates all of this. And it comes along with coaching so that if for whatever reason you watch the instruction videos, you follow the regime and so on, but you still have challenges, or you have a challenge in your business that you really want some extra help with, it comes with a group coaching call. So you can raise those pressing issues that you have to and challenges you're dealing with, and you'll get my personal perspective on it, and I'll help you make more money and make a better business and a much more smoothly run business that now you can take higher and higher and higher. Again, with this method here and this system, it actually helps you do one more thing. I have mentioned it already, but it is another secret I want to highlight, and it is the best of leaders, the best managers, the best business leaders, or even when you're leading yourself, is that you don't decide on action steps, but you actually follow through with them. You don't just follow through with them, you also follow up. It's typically where when you're following through and following up, that's typically where most people get the success. In sales, it's said that, the 85% of all salesperson, they call once, and maybe they get 1% of the sales. Then you have a few more percentage, maybe 10% or something, they might call twice, and then get another percent maybe out of that extra phone call. But it's a very, very few who do 5 calls or more, and those are the ones who get 85% of the sales. 5 calls or more, that means that it's a lot more follow up and follow through, right? With this system, you have the method that automatically, on a weekly basis, ensures that all your team leaders will actually come and report and say, this is what we set out to do, this is what we've done, this is our baseline, this is how much we used to do, and we've set a target that's better than what we used to do. And they're now coming and they're reporting on how well did they do. If they hit the target goal, you're getting all the money that you calculated out that you were supposed to get. You're on track, and everything's pretty good. If you're kind of short, you kind of get a recommitment about, okay, well, what are we doing differently this week that next week when you come back, you're actually hitting the target. And this method actually helps you ensure that you will get the results that you are looking for. Ladies and gentlemen, I assure you this works. I've seen it in a myriad of different businesses, of different industries that are completely unrelated. They are all over the map in the United States and into Canada and so on. And that's where I've been personally over 100 companies over a course of just about 3 years or so. My esteemed colleagues have been so in, I think it's more than 300,000 businesses. The success rate has been like 97, 98%. And I venture to say that those who are not successful is because the business owners, they soon enough turn their back and just do their own same old thing they used to do. And so that cannot be really being put on the system because the system works. I invite you to go to my website and check out more of this. I invite you to reach out to me. You can do so via the contact page on the website. And I'd love for you to hit the like button on this video or podcast, and maybe even consider subscribing. And I hope I'll see you in future episodes.